this beautiful young preacher's wife is dead from a gunshot wound. So far, we're not getting a lot of information about, for instance, trajectory path. Was a gunshot residue test run on her hands? What do we really know? We know there was a 911 call. But what more do we know? This is authorities insist this was a suicide, but friends and family insist they want the FBI to further investigate her death, and apparently that is happening. You were just seeing video from Solid Rock Ministries in a seemingly emotional eulogy. At this hour, the FBI reportedly opening an investigation after bombshells surrounding her death, including reports that her husband, John Paul Miller, posted, quote, intimate, I hate to think what that is, photos of his young wife online, and then leaving no room for, hey, did he do it or not? He apologized for his, quote, evil. And I want to warn everybody on the panel that we have just gotten a letter from the Russell B. Long attorneys at law threatening everybody if they say anything that disparages the pastor. But you know, it's really interesting that his former wife got a divorce because she claimed the preacher was having an affair on her, including with the babysitter. Who's the babysitter? Mica. Okay, back to our panel. Joining me, a special guest right now. This is Mica's sister, Sierra Francis, with us. Sierra, first of all, we are so sorry about what you and your family are going through. A lot of us on the panel have been victims of violent crime, including myself. And I think the worst possible thing that could happen is to lose your child. You're suffering from losing your sibling. And what a beautiful, beautiful girl on the inside and the outside. Tell me about your sister.
Mica was amazing. She was energetic. She was funny. She was always trying to make sure everybody around her was happy, and she was always trying to include everyone. She was very passionate about her missions trips to Kenya and nutrition. She was just an all around wonderful, God fearing woman.
When did she meet the preacher that became her husband?
It would have been probably in 2007, 2008 when our family moved to Myrtle Beach. Collectively, our stepfather and mother moved our whole family there, and we began to attend Solid Rock when it was a smaller congregation of maybe 30, 40 people.
How old was Mica at that time?
Probably around 13 or 14.
Is that when she met the preacher, John Paul Miller, that she would marry?
Yes, that would have been around that time.
Is it true that at that time he, John Paul Miller, was her youth minister?
I believe so. I know that he was involved in pretty much every aspect of the church because it was such a small church.
I'm very curious also about everything was said in the eulogy. You know what? I'm very curious about how all this is striking you, Sierra, Mica's sister.